while protesting against the cutting of trees. This craziness was the reason Dad divorced her a long time back, but I had to live with it. Wake up, Chloe. We have to save the dolphins. Let's go, Chloe. The old beggar near the church needs our help. If she could, she'd probably help ants move their food. But that wasn't all. She was so careful about the environment that we lived in a tiny house and grew our own veggies and never used a vehicle to drive around. Even though she was kind of weird, she was a good mom. She was always there for my school functions, baked cookies for my friends, and never forgot my birthdays. Honey, I made you this cake. Oh, Mom, I love you. But just as I was about to cut the cake, she whistled and a bunch of kids came storming into the house. These are some kids from the homeless shelter. You can share your cake with them, right, honey? Well, I didn't want to, but I had no option, so I forced a smile. But the next morning, something bizarre happened. My favorite doll, Sally, was gone. Mom, I can't find Sally anywhere. I think one of those kids took it. Oh, no, dear. I gave it to them. You what? Some kids never get to play with dolls, honey. You must learn to be charitable. Yeah, but not my doll. I was so mad at her, and it just got worse with time. If anyone came asking for help, she gave my clothes and things away without even asking, leaving me with nothing but damaged goods. I knew kids made comments on my appearance in school, and I was tired of it. I started using my allowance to buy clothes and shoes from the thrift store, and I was very creative with changing their designs. Soon enough, everyone was noticing my clothes and coming to me for fashion tips. And the best thing happened in the 8th grade when I got an opportunity to compete in a fashion festival in New York. But when I asked Mom, she outright refused. You're not going anywhere, Chloe. Those airplanes are bad for the environment. But this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Mom. Enough. I don't have that kind of money anyway. This discussion is over. She was so unreasonable. The next morning, I was still mad at her. So I stormed out of the house, but I was shocked to see tons of reporters gathered outside. Suddenly, a woman pushed me aside and went straight to Mom. Is it true that you've decided to donate the $1 million you won in the lottery to a children's organization in Africa? Mom turned and went inside without answering, while I stood there in shock. She did what now? Is this true, Mom? You won $1 million lottery and you're giving it all away? Chloe, think of how many lives I can change. Those kids need it. And what about me, Mom? You said you didn't have money for my New York trip, and you were gonna give everything away without even telling me? I was gonna tell you. I was even gonna take you along. On a plane? Or are you walking to Africa? Gosh, you're really something. I'm not going with you anywhere. You care for every kid in the world except your own. I hate you. But soon after, she dropped another bombshell on me. She was leaving the next day for Africa, and I'd have to stay with my dad till she returned. Mom and Dad hated each other, so I'd never gotten to know him. And now I had to live with him? This was insane. But when I reached his gigantic mansion in California, I couldn't help feeling a bit excited. Our house was a matchbox compared to this. Dad gave me an awkward hug and welcomed me into his home. I'm running really late for a meeting, but I'll see you at dinner, okay? And he just rushed off in a car. That wasn't weird at all. Soon after he left, a girl my age walked over to me and introduced herself as Jenny, my stepsister. Dad told me you were coming, and I'm sure we're gonna have a great time together. Come with me. Jenny led me to a huge room and opened a giant wardrobe for me. What do you think? I picked out all your clothes myself. Are you kidding? I love them. You're amazing. I know. I'm the coolest girl in our school, and no stepsister is gonna ruin my reputation by looking shabby. That was kinda mean, but I forgot about it as she showed me around the house. And later we binged on ice cream and talked about fashion and guys. She seemed all right. A week later, I joined school and Jenny introduced me to her friends. They seemed cool, and I was enjoying being part of their girl gang. But one day I was in the library when I got a text from Jenny to come immediately to the schoolyard. When I got there, I saw some kids protesting with banners. And then I spotted Jenny and her friends on the side. And when suddenly they started throwing eggs and tomatoes at the protesters. What are you doing? Having some fun with these losers. Join us. No, just stop this. But they didn't listen to me. And when Jenny saw some teachers coming, she ran away with her minions. Such a witch. Later, I was sitting in the cafeteria when a boy joined me, and I recognized him as one of the protesters.
Hey, I saw you trying to stop those girls earlier today. Thanks for taking our side.
He introduced himself as Ben, and I found out why they were protesting. Apparently, my dad was one of the biggest school donors, and he had asked the school to convert the backyard into a space for Jenny's fashion club. The kids were protesting to save all the trees and plants there.
Lots of squirrels and birds live in those trees. Plus, it's a space for everyone to enjoy, and it's not fair to take it away.
But just then, someone pulled me by my arm. Get away from my stepsister, you creep.
Wait, you two are related?
Don't you believe anything he says, Chloe. He's a liar. What's your problem, Jenny? My problem? Are you kidding me? I'm doing you a favor here by saving you from this low-class jerk. That's enough. You and your friends were the jerks today, and I'll decide who I want to hang out with, and it's definitely not you. You'll regret this, sissy. As she stormed off, I turned to Ben. Sorry about that. I didn't know she was so awful.
Oh, I've known Jenny all my life, and she's crazy.
And then he told me something shocking. Dad had adopted Jenny a few years back, and before that, she and Ben lived in the same foster home.
She was always an insecure bully. If anyone else came close to being adopted, she'd mess things up for them by lying to the parents. We were so glad when she finally left with your dad. But now, I'm back in school with her.
I had no idea she was adopted. It's not like Dad told me anything. After that day, Ben and I started hanging out together and became really good friends. And I could see Jenny hating every bit of it. Why can't you stay away from that poor beggar? After everything I did for you, all the clothes I bought, I never asked for it. And why should I care if he's poor? He's a good person, unlike you. You may have changed your looks with money, but from what I hear, your heart and personality are just as awful as always. You witch! How dare you speak to me like that? Just you wait and watch out. Suddenly, she dropped to the floor and started screaming. Save me! My stepsister just kicked me in the stomach! Just then, one of her minions came up with the principal, and he called Dad, complaining about me.
Didn't your mom teach you any manners, Chloe? Why would you hit your sister like a savage person, and then lie about it too?
She's the one who's lying. And don't talk about my mom like that. Unlike you, she's always been there for me, while you haven't even had the time to have a meal with me since I came. I stormed off to my room, and I really missed Mom just then. A few days later, I invited Ben over to study for the exams together, but we just ended up talking about all sorts of stuff, including Mom. She may be a little too much, but her heart's in the right place, you know?
I think you're more like her than you realize, Chloe. You stand up for what's right, and I really like that about you.
Suddenly, he moved in closer to kiss me, and I closed my eyes. But just then, a really loud sound almost made me fall off my chair. What the heck? Ben and I ran downstairs and saw Jenny having a party with music on at full volume. I went ahead and pulled the plug. Who stopped the music? I did. Are you nuts playing music so loud at this hour? Someone's gonna call the cops. I already gave them a tip to ignore any complaints, so shut up and leave. I felt like ripping her hair out, but Ben pulled me away. As I was leaving, I heard Jenny say to her girlfriend, "Ignore her, guys. Her mom's a total lunatic. That's why she's a little, crazy." That was it. I pushed her into the pool, and she looked super mad. The next morning, Dad called me, and I knew I'd get scolded because Jenny must have fed him lies. But to my surprise, he hugged me tight.
Oh, you must be so worried about your mom, Chloe. It's gonna be okay, I promise.
Why are you hugging her, Dad? You're supposed to scold her and ground her.
Jenny, now is not the time for your tantrums.
Dad, what's going on? Why would I be worried about Mom? Dad switched on the TV and I saw something awful. A group of volunteers in Africa had gone missing, and Mom was one of them. Suddenly, I felt my heart sink. I just ran back to my room. I stayed there for the next 2 days, crying and looking through the news every now and then. But then, Ben forced me to come back to school.
I know you're worried about your mom, Chloe, but she'd want you to be brave and not lose hope. She'll come back. I just know it.
He pulled me close and I felt so much better. He was right. I had to get myself together and do good things, just like Mom. I convinced Dad to take back his request for converting the backyard into a space only for the fashion club. I had other ideas for that space, and he agreed to donate money for it. I talked to the members of the fashion club and suggested that we redecorate the school backyard and turn it into an open-air showplace. They seemed to like my ideas, and when it was finally done, everyone was stunned.
OMG, this is amazing. It's like a place for everyone.
Everyone was happy and praised me for my idea, except for Jenny. What rubbish is this? And how could you guys go behind my back and support this good-for-nothing loser? Did she use her mom's sob story to get your sympathy? I was about to tell her to shut up, but all the kids spoke in my favor instead. Chloe came up with the best idea to utilize the space without destroying the trees.
And it's time you stop being a mean witch, Jenny. It's getting really old now.
Everyone seemed angry at Jenny, and I expected her to throw a tantrum. But surprisingly, she turned around and ran away. Something was definitely up, so I followed her and found her weeping in the bathroom. Jenny, are you okay? No, I'm not. Ever since you came, everything's gone wrong. You became close with the kids at school in no time, and even Dad's been favoring you lately and ignoring me. I just hate that everyone loves you and thinks I'm the bad guy. Well, she was, but maybe it wasn't the right time to bring it up. You have it all wrong, Jenny. Everyone likes me because I'm nice to them. And Dad hasn't made any effort to get to know me my whole life. He's just being nice to me right now because of Mom going missing. Otherwise, he'd probably be the same. So, you mean you don't want to snatch him away from me? No, why would I do that? If anything, I'd want him to be nicer and kinder to both of us. Suddenly, she wiped her tears and hugged me. I don't understand this. I've been nothing but a witch to you, but you're still being nice to me. Why? 'Cause that's how my mom raised me, and I'm proud of it. I just wish I'd told her that. You can tell me now. I turned around, and Mom was standing right in front of my eyes. Mom! OMG, am I dreaming? Just then, Jenny pinched me real hard and made me scream. I'm so glad you're back, Mom. I missed you so much. I missed you too, honey. I realized I must have given you quite a scare, so I flew back as soon as I could. You cut your trip short? For me? There's nothing I wouldn't do for you, love. Unless someone else's need is greater. Oh, Mom.